What if the voice in your head isn't really you? The one that judges, narrates, worries. The one that replays old conversations. The one that plans your next move before you've even finished this sentence. That voice feels constant, familiar. It sounds like home. But what if it's not? What if it's just a sound no different from the wind outside your window or the hum of a passing train? And what if you've spent your whole life listening to it without ever stopping to ask, who is hearing this? Most people believe they are their thoughts, that their identities stitched together from memories, emotions, and inner dialogue. But here's a radical, quiet truth. You are not your thoughts. You are the space they move through. And the moment you see that, even for a flicker, the entire structure of your suffering begins to crack. The anxiety, the restlessness, the pressure to prove something, they all begin to loosen because they were never you to begin with. In this video, we're going to step back, not to escape, but to see more clearly. We're going to meet the silent witness behind the noise, not as a concept, but as a direct living experience. So if you've been searching for clarity, if you've been trying to silence your mind, fix your story, or escape your feelings, what if you didn't have to? What if the healing was in the seeing? Let's go there. Let's begin. Close your eyes for a moment and picture this. You're sitting in a quiet room. No sound, no movement. A single thought appears, maybe about your to-do list, maybe a memory from childhood. Then a second thought follows, like a ripple on the surface of still water. Then comes a feeling, a sensation in the body, perhaps the weight of your hands, or a tightness in your chest. Now pause. Ask yourself, where is all of this happening? Where are these thoughts appearing? Where are these sensations being felt? The world has told you a simple answer. It's happening in your brain. But is that true? Have you ever seen your brain? Have you ever looked inside your skull and witnessed a thought being born? Of course not. You've only ever experienced thoughts, feelings, sensations, not in the brain but in you. The brain is not the one seeing, hearing, or feeling. It is not the thinker. It is not the observer. It is, at most, a pattern, something appearing within a deeper field. That field is awareness. We've spent centuries treating the brain like the crown jewel of human existence. We study its folds and frequencies. We measure its chemicals. We map its activity with glowing scans. But none of that explains you. None of that touches the experience of being, the sense of presence, the knowingness that's always here. You see, your eyes don't really see. They take in light. They flip images upside down. But the experience of vision, the vivid, colorful, meaning-filled picture of the world that happens in awareness, your ears don't really hear. They vibrate in response to sound waves. But the experience of music, of words, of silence that happens in awareness, the body is a channel, a receiver. But the one receiving, that's you. Not the personality, not the thinker. The awareness that watches it all arise and pass. And this awareness doesn't live in the brain. It's not inside your head like a tiny person pulling levers. That's just another image, another thought. Awareness is not in you. You are in it. The brain doesn't dream at night. Awareness does. The brain doesn't fall in love. Awareness feels that wave rise. The brain doesn't suffer. The identification with thought suffers. And the more you believe that you are the brain, the more trapped you become. Because the brain is just a story about mechanism. Awareness is the truth of being. Let's go even deeper. Right now, become aware of a sound in your environment, maybe a distant hum or the sound of your breath. Now become aware of a sensation, perhaps your hands touching each other or the temperature on your skin. Now notice the awareness that is noticing. That awareness doesn't change. It doesn't rush, doesn't judge. It is not doing anything. It simply is. And every experience you've ever had has unfolded it. When you were 5, this awareness was here. When you fell in love for the first time, it was here. When you failed, when you succeeded, when you broke down in the middle of the night, when you stood in awe beneath the stars, all of it appeared inside the same presence. And yet, how often do we forget? We obsess over the content of our thoughts, trying to control them, fix them, escape them, when the real key was never the thought. It was the one who noticed the thought. It was the witnessing space, not the cloud, but the sky, not the wave, but the ocean. And that ocean is not contained within the skull. It is not a side effect of neurons. It is not bound by form. It is awareness. It is you. And it is infinite. If you want proof, don't look to science. Don't look to philosophy. Look to your own experience. Right now, let a thought come. Anything. Then ask, what noticed that thought? Was it the brain, or was it the presence behind the thought? Can the brain be aware of itself? Can an electrical impulse know it exists? Of course not. Only awareness can do that. Only awareness can witness. And that means you are not a thing, you are not a machine, you are not a mind trapped in a skull. You are awareness appearing as a body, as a personality, as a life. But you are never limited to those appearances. You are the source. And when you begin to live from this place, not as an idea, but as a felt truth, something changes. The panic starts to fade because you're no longer trying to control the story. The pressure loosens because you're no longer pretending to be the author of every thought. And in its place comes peace. Not because the world got easier, but because you remembered the space from which the world arises. That space is not somewhere far away. It's not a concept to understand. It is you, always here, always now, unmoved, unchanging, eternal. Have you ever questioned the things you're absolutely sure of? Not just your opinions or beliefs, but the things you don't even realize you're assuming. Like this one. I have a brain. Seems obvious, right? You've heard it your whole life. It's part of every medical textbook, every biology class. The brain is the control center, the thinker, the processor, the master of your inner world. But pause. How do you know that you have a brain? Have you ever seen it, held it, felt it working? Or is it something you've been told, something you believe, not because you've directly experienced it, but because someone said it was true? Now take that one step deeper. If you've never seen your own brain, and the only way you even know about it is through thoughts, images, language, then isn't your belief in the brain itself just another experience inside your consciousness? Let that sink in. The idea that you are a brain is itself a thought. And where do thoughts happen? Not in the brain, but in awareness. You don't need to deny the existence of the brain to see this clearly. You simply need to recognize that your experience of the brain, like your experience of your body, your memories, your name, is arising within you, within awareness, not outside it. Even the sense of me, the one who's watching this video, the one who has a name and a backstory and opinions, that me is a bundle of thoughts, sensations, impressions, and all of it is being observed. That means it cannot be you, because you are the one watching. You are the one before the idea, not the form, but the formless. This realization can feel strange at first. We're used to building our sense of self on something solid. I am this body. I am this history. I am this mind. It feels safe, tangible, real. But the more closely you look, the more it begins to fall apart. The body changes constantly. The history is memory, a story told through fading fragments. The mind is a storm of thoughts that never stop shifting. Where is the solidity? Where is the self? The closer you search, the more it dissolves, until all that's left is presence. Not a person, not a thing, just being, just the raw, open, aware space in which all things appear. The mystics and sages weren't trying to confuse us when they said, you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the doer. They were pointing to something radically simple, that what you truly are is prior to all of that. You are the space in which the body is felt. You are the stillness behind every thought. You are the witness of your own personality, your own roles, your own name. And the beauty of this truth is that it's not an abstraction. It's the most intimate thing in the world. Right now, you might be aware of your breath, of your hands resting somewhere, of a thought rising, and then another. And behind all of that, there is you, the witness, the open field in which all of it is happening. No story, no labels, just presence. Have you noticed how effortless that presence is? You don't have to maintain it. You don't have to do awareness. It simply is. Even when you're not paying attention, even when the mind is spinning, even when emotion takes over, there's always a part of you, a quiet, unwavering part that is just watching, not judging, not reacting, just witnessing. That's not the brain, that's not the thinker, that's you, the real you. And the more you remember that again and again in simple, quiet moments, the more free you become. Because now you see that nothing owns you, not the thoughts that used to scare you, not the roles you felt trapped in, not even the identity you clung to as me. They are appearances, temporary, movements across the surface of a deeper stillness. And in that stillness, you are home. So the next time you feel overwhelmed by life, by your mind, by the demands of being someone, try this. Don't try to change the thoughts. Don't try to fix the feeling. Just ask gently, who is aware of this? And then pause. Not to find an answer, but to feel the space the question opens. That space is you, not your idea of you, not the version you show to others, but the real, unshakable presence beneath it all. It doesn't come and go. It doesn't need to be improved. It doesn't live in your head. It is not the brain. It is not the mind. It is awareness itself. And it has always been here, quietly watching, patiently waiting for you to remember. We walk through the world assuming it's solid, the floor beneath our feet, the walls around us, the stars above, the people we meet. They all appear steady, predictable, real. We touch, we hear, we speak, and it all seems to confirm our assumptions. Reality is out there, and we're inside it, moving through its rules. But is that the full picture or just a habit of perception? What if reality isn't fixed? What if beneath its polished surface, life is more like a dream in motion, alive, unfinished, woven together by presence and possibility? The ancient sages called it Leela, the divine play, the endless creativity of consciousness dancing as form and experience. And thousands of years later, physicists would stumble into a startlingly similar insight. Quantum science, the frontier of what we think we know, has revealed a world that behaves more like a mystery than a machine. Subatomic particles don't sit still waiting to be measured. They exist in states of probability waves of potential, not facts. They don't choose a position until they're observed. And somehow observation collapses those possibilities into form. Let that sink in. The very act of awareness doesn't just notice reality, it shapes it. This isn't poetic metaphor. It's experimental truth. The universe is not a static backdrop against which you live your life. It's an interactive field of energy and potential, endlessly responding to your presence. You are not in the world the way a rock is in a riverbed. You are the dreamer, dreaming the river, the rock, the sky. And every moment of your life is being projected into the now, not from a fixed past, but from an ocean of possibilities. So, what does this mean for the way you suffer? What does it mean for the way you feel stuck? It means that nothing, no belief, no story, no emotion is final. It means that everything you experience is just one version of reality, not the reality. It means the thought that says, I'm not enough, is not truth. It's a flicker of energy passing through awareness. It means the pain that feels endless is not a life sentence. It's a cloud, however dark, drifting across the open sky of presence. And the moment you see this, not with your intellect, but with your being, you become free. Because now you realize you don't need to rewrite your story. You don't need to solve the world. You only need to see the illusion for what it is, a wave, not the ocean. A possibility, not a prison. Everything in your world, your relationships, your beliefs, your very identity is less like stone and more like smoke. Fluid, dynamic, movable. And once you stop grasping for certainty, once you let go of needing reality to be fixed, you open the door to something far more powerful. Wonder. Not knowing becomes a gift. Change becomes a friend. Presence becomes the only thing that makes sense. Because in a world of infinite possibility, presence is your anchor. The only thing that doesn't move, and here's the irony, the more you rest in that still point of awareness, the more the world responds in kind. You begin to feel synchronicities. Doors open. Emotions shift. People mirror back the calm you found, because the field of life is always listening, not to your words, but to your being. And when your being stops clutching at control, stops clinging to identity, stops resisting uncertainty, the field softens. Possibility floods in. This is not magic. This is presence. You were never meant to hold reality together. You were meant to dance with it, to watch the dream change, to meet each moment with curiosity, not fear, to say, I don't know what this is, but I am here for it. And in that openness, everything changes. Even your suffering begins to shimmer. Not because it disappears, but because now you see it as part of the dance. Temporary, transformable. The story of I am broken loses its grip. The loop of this is who I'll always be starts to dissolve. Because you're not trapped in the dream, you are the dreamer. And the dream is responding to your awakening. So the next time you find yourself tightening into anxiety, into a role, into certainty, pause. Take a breath, look around, and ask, what else might be possible? What if this pain is not punishment but preparation? What if this ending is not loss but space? What if this silence is not emptiness but invitation? Let the old stories soften. Let the rigid beliefs melt. Let the moment become what it truly is, a doorway. You don't need to walk through it all at once. Just see it. And that seeing pure, open, without judgment is the beginning of transformation. Because in the play of life, it is not the character who wakes up, it's the awareness behind the script. And that awareness is you, always watching, always here, always free. Life is always moving. One moment, laughter echoes through a room. The next, silence settles like dust. You fall in love, you lose something dear. The body changes, thoughts change. People enter, people leave. Everything you've ever known has come and gone. And yet something hasn't. Something in you has been watching it all quietly, steadily, like the open sky holding 1,000 storms. That something is not a mystery you have to search for. It's not hidden. It's the most intimate part of your experience. It's the awareness that's been present through every chapter of your life. When you were 5 years old and unsure of the world, it was there. When you were a teenager, discovering who you were, it was there. When your heart broke, when it mended, when you failed, when you succeeded, through all the changing scenery, the witness remained the same. The unchanging screen, imagine sitting in a theater. A film begins to play. It takes you on a journey, joy, fear, heartbreak, hope. You lose yourself in it. You feel with the characters. You forget you're in a chair. You forget the screen entirely. But when the movie ends, the lights come up and the screen still there. Untouched by the story. It didn't flinch during the explosions. It didn't weep during the tragedy. It didn't cheer during the victory. It simply held it all. And that is exactly what consciousness does. It holds the movie of your life. Every sensation, every thought, every heartbreak and celebration. It doesn't interfere, it doesn't control. It simply is. And it is who you truly are. You are not the scenes. You are not the characters. You are the screen, silent, steady, invulnerable. And yet, most of us forget this. We become absorbed in this story. We identify with the thoughts. We think we are the emotion. I am anxious. I am angry. I am lost. We forget that these are just clouds passing across a vast sky. You're not what passes, you are what remains. But here's the beautiful part. You don't need to fight the story. You don't need to reject the movie. You just need to remember the screen. That remembering is the heart of awakening. It doesn't mean you stop feeling. It doesn't mean you float above life untouched. It means that as life flows through you, raw, vivid, real, you remain rooted in the part of you that doesn't move, the part that never leaves. That's where peace comes from. Not from controlling what happens, but from knowing who you are while it happens. And this realization doesn't require effort. It requires noticing. Right now, notice this. You're hearing words, maybe feeling something in your chest, maybe thinking about a memory. All of this is content, movement, story. Now pause. Step back. What's watching it? What's aware of the sound, the thought, the emotion? That's not a thing. It has no shape, no opinion. It doesn't rise and fall. It just is. That is you. Not the small you, the identity built on name and role. The real you. The one that doesn't need to be fixed. The one that was never broken. And when you begin to live from that space, not perfectly, not permanently, but even momentarily, life begins to soften. You don't take the thoughts so seriously. You don't clutch the emotions so tightly. You don't resist the moment so fiercely. Because now you see the pain, the joy, the confusion, the clarity, they're all scenes in a film that's constantly unfolding. And you are the stillness behind the screen. When fear shows up, you let it pass. When clarity arises, you welcome it. But you don't chase, you don't cling. Because you know that what you are doesn't come and go. What you are is the witness, and the witness is free. Free to feel, free to choose, free to love without grasping, free to let go without losing. This is not detachment, it's intimacy. It's not escape, it's presence. You begin to meet life not as a victim or controller, but as an open field of awareness. You begin to trust the unfolding not because you understand it, but because you've remembered what holds it. And that remembrance doesn't need to be constant. Even a flicker is enough. Because every time you remember, the grip of illusion weakens. Every time you return to the witness, suffering dissolves a little more. Every time you notice the screen, the story begins to reveal its deeper beauty. So the next time you feel overwhelmed by emotion, by thought, by circumstance, pause, close your eyes and ask, what's aware of this? Let that question open a doorway inside you. Step through it and feel yourself return, not to something new, but to what has always been, the silent witness, the still screen, the unmoving presence behind the movie of your life. You are not the storm, you are the sky. You are not the role, you are the watcher. You are not the illusion, you are the light that makes it possible. And that light has never flickered, not once. If you're still here, breathing with me in this quiet, thank you. Not because you finished a video, but because you stayed present long enough to remember something real, something deeper than thought, something untouched by the world. The silent witness has always been with you, not far away, not in some hidden temple, but here, closer than your breath. And now that you've touched it, even briefly, you may begin to notice it more. In the spaces between your thoughts, in the stillness before you speak. In the gentle watching that never needs to be loud. Let this remembrance guide you. Let it soften the way you meet yourself. And if this practice helped you even in the smallest way, please consider subscribing to the channel. This space was made for you, and there is more to explore. More meditations, more reflections, more doorways home. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next moment of quiet we share. And if someone in your life is drowning in thought, if you know someone who's forgotten they are more than the noise in their mind, send this to them.